Brandon Royval versus Manel Kape is happening. Now, who's going to win this fight? Well, first of all, who's going to win this fight? Let's take a look at their latest performances, in which Brandon Royval fought Brandon Moreno for a second time, in which it was a very close fight. Both went back and forth, both had some great shots and kicks, but Brandon Royval ended up taking it by decision. And after this, Brandon Royval went to fight Tatsuro Taira, in which both of their wrestling and grappling was great, but Brandon Royval showed that his striking is just on a whole different level, and Brandon Royval ended up taking it by decision. Now let's take a look at Manel Kape's latest performances, in which he fought Manel Kape, in which it was a very boring fight. There was little to no action at all, but Manel Kape still ended up taking it by decision. But did he really win? Because he got kicked out of the UFC after this fight. Now after this, Manel Kape went up to fight Bruno Silva, in which Manel Kape started off great, landed some great combinations, put a lot of punishment on Bruno Silva, and the rest enough to stop the fight in round 3. And based off the latest performances, I got Brandon Royval winning this fight.
Now, this fight being made kind of makes sense because, yes, Brandon Royval just beat Tatsuro Taira, but that doesn't mean that he deserves a title shot because there are other guys like Brandon Moreno and Kai Kara-France who won and put on better performances who also won a title shot. So maybe the winner of this fight can get in talks of being next for the title. But anyways, let's talk about this fight because it looks like it's going to be a close back and forth fight. And since both men have proven to be very dangerous on the feet, we could end up getting very close rounds if the fight does stay on the feet. Because if we look at Manel Kape, well, he's a very quick fighter on the feet, which allows him to have very good offense as he comes forward and he lets his hands go and he does damage as he has the power to hurt anybody. And since Brandon Royval has been rocked and dropped multiple times, Brandon Royval becomes very vulnerable of getting dropped and finished in this fight. And as for Brandon Royval, who is also a very good fighter on the feet since he can mix up the combinations really well. And the good thing about Brandon Royval is that he can be very sneaky when it comes to catching his opponents with something unexpected. So on the feet is going to be a very close fight. So I do believe that it's going to come down to who can have the more output while at the same time landing the more significant and cleaner shots. Now I know that Brandon Royval also has very good grappling skills and he can be very dangerous when it comes to submitting his opponents. But I don't think the fight will get to that. And if it does, I do believe that Manel Kape will be able to survive and escape. So I got Manel Kape winning this fight. I think his timing and pressure will be way too much for Brandon Royval.